If you notice you've been under a lot of stress and you are dealing with constipation, feeling bloated a whole lot, and your gut just feels a little funky, it is definitely due to high levels of stress and cortisol in your body. So I'm going to teach you in this video what's really going on so you can learn how burnout is impacting your digestion and how burnout affects your microbiome. So this is really important, especially for women who deal with yeast. So when you're burned out, your body is in survival mode, meaning it's in fight or flight. Cortisol and adrenaline send blood flow to your muscles and away from digestion. So basically, your food is just sitting in there. You may experience something called leaky gut. And that means different particles that are supposed to stay in your gut actually get into your bloodstream, which can trigger inflammation. So if you notice that you feel foggy or puffy or more inflamed in your body, that could be a contributing factor. The good news is that when you learn how to reset your nervous system and lower cortisol, your gut will begin to heal too. So let's break down the stress-yeast connection. When cortisol is too high, this is going to weaken your immune system and raise your blood sugar, even if you didn't eat anything sweet. And I know that can be so confusing because you've probably learned that sugar fuels yeast, but you may not realize how stressed out your body is. And it also tightens your gut lining. All of these things create the perfect environment for yeast like Candida and Malassezia to grow. Malassezia is a common skin yeast that you can find on your scalp. So if you notice that you're dealing with an itchy or burning scalp, if you haven't washed your hair in a few days, it could be yeast on your scalp. Your gut bacteria is also very sensitive to stress. High amounts of cortisol can actually lower your good bacteria, which can cause for harmful bacteria and yeast to grow. So if you notice that you start craving more sugars and carbs, that's partly because yeast and bacteria are calling the shots because they thrive off of sugar. So more stress equals more food for yeast. So here's some gentle ways to support your body in getting back into balance. You absolutely want to prioritize more fat, protein, and fiber in your diet over getting a ton of carbs, which is going to create the biggest buffet for all the yeast in your body to eat. Make sure you are supporting your body with plenty of minerals. Minerals are so important, so getting plenty of magnesium and zinc in your diet is going to be really helpful for calming inflammation and supporting your immune system. Vitamin D is going to be so helpful as well to give your immune system a nice boost for fighting off harmful yeast and bacteria. Getting some gut-friendly foods like garlic, oregano, and probiotics are going to be really helpful for your gut also. And here's the thing I wanted to mention to you if you have an itchy scalp. You want to stay away from things like coconut oil, castor oil, shea butter, all of those thick, fatty oils. When you add that onto your scalp, that gives Malassezia food to eat. It absolutely loves eating on what's called long chain fatty acids, which are abundant in coconut oil. So I know that we hear that coconut oil is antifungal, and it is for Candida, but not for the yeast that grows on your scalp. So if you notice that you try to use all these different oils, but it's irritating your scalp even more, it's actually giving them food to eat and it's making them multiply. So you're probably like, well, what oil do I use? You can use jojoba oil, which is most like our natural oils that we have on our skin. You can also use squalene and grapeseed oil. Those oils are not going to feed the yeast for them to keep growing on your scalp. You may have a friend that's like, oh girl, I love coconut oil on my scalp. And then you use it and you're like, oh, my scalp's on fire. So I wanted to throw that out there as well because that can definitely make us feel more uncomfortable. So that is everything I wanted to share with you today when it comes to yeast overgrowth and feeling burned out because it's so common. A lot of women just don't talk about it, but they're wondering why they can't get rid of it, and it's because we are burned out. We're under so much stress. If you're a woman who is trying her hardest to recover from burnout, click the link down below for the best community to support you when it comes to recovering from burnout.